I get called to a lot of sprayers that have had an incident with contamination to a crop. Generally, it is a dirty sprayer that does an impact on a crop. The importance of any decontamination process is to start with a clean sprayer. So every time you go to flush that sprayer, make the best effort to get rid of any residues or trap areas that can be in that sprayer that will accept chemistry and then make that sprayer harder to clean out, such as wettable powders, a whole range of products that may end up during the process of the year. Decontamination starts in the field, just after you've finished application. Start by using your freshwater tank. Flush the sprayer through in the field to leave any residue or chemistry in that area of application, rather than taking it back to your shed area and having an impacted zone where you're continually washing out a sprayer. Flush the sprayer, preferably triple rinse the sprayer in the field with your given amount of water. If you had a 500 litre fresh tank and you pull it through in one lot, your sprayer won't be as clean as if you pull that through in 3 separate components of that 500 litres. Let's get stuck into the decontamination process. If you think about decontamination, wherever water and chemistry has been in that sprayer, you have to go with cleaning agents. Some of the risks of decontamination are obviously your filters, lines carrying water, old spray lines that may have sucked chemistry into them. You have end areas on the boom spray, nozzle filters, mainline filters, suction filters, pressure filters on the spray unit. We need to drain the system, flush the system through, then start with adding and mixing up our proprietary cleaning agent that you're going to use. We need to do this in a triple rinse process. We're going to put some cleaning agent in the spray unit, agitate it through, and then pump it out through the lines. So it'll be going through filters, nozzles, and this gives us a chance to go along and open end taps. If the sprayer has an end tap, you may have to remove some end caps off the boom spray because they will be trap areas at the end of the boom. If the sprayer has a recirculating system for a pressure circulation to have the sprayer primed at the start of application, take a nozzle off at the extremity before it goes into the recirculation system. In all cleaning processes with these new recirc systems, make sure you keep that flushed, because those fine lines can be a build-up of residue, which are a trap area then for future contamination to the sprayer. After the third rinse, let's give it some more fresh water. We want to flush any cleaning agent out of that sprayer. So it's another chance to activate the taps, let the sprayer be completely fresh flushed with water. Also activate any recirculation systems at that point. If the sprayer sits overnight, give it some more fresh water in the morning, just so that any old hose work isn't being dragged, chemical being dragged out of old hose work and being available to go into the spray solution, which is a potential source. And it's quite common where people will be spraying a particular chemistry and the next day they'll have an issue when they start up again. And that's because that chemistry from the day before has been dragging out and acting as a cleaning agent and drawing residue out of the sprayer. Remember, at the start of this, we said start with a clean sprayer. It's much easier to decontaminate a clean sprayer than one that's got a lot of build-up residue within it. Pay particular attention to any mixing vats, hoppers, buckets, jugs, depending on the scale of your operation, and also your micromatic fittings. If you've got a chemistry that's sensitive to a crop, have a dedicated hose for those chemistries rather than mixing hoses up and then dragging potentially a source of chemistry in. Keep in mind, treat your freshwater tank as though it's contaminated. Always decontaminate that, so when you have to use that, you know that it's safe. Okay, well, let's consider mixing order. One of the issues with mixing order is I think we've sped it up too much as applicators. Mixing order is being determined now by the 4-inch pump that's racing water into the spray unit, and we end up throwing all this material straight in a real hurry. This possibly has some implications for some chemistry. Matt spoke about sources of hydrogen ion or overwhelming the vapour grip with, say, ammonium sulphate. I think we can do a similar thing with acidification. If you look at the slide behind me, we've got 75% as the volume of water that we should have in the sprayer. Now what this does, it takes the impact of any acidification that you may be doing in that process. At 50% of the tank volume, you've got twice as much acidifier that you're going to have at 100%. And that increase in acidification could potentially lead to some adverse experiences with some chemistry. If we take Group B chemistries, for argument's sake, which are normally thrown in very early in the mixing process, they don't like to be sitting on acid water. So we've technically may have overdone that process over time. So let's consider mixing orders based on the degree of difficulty of getting stuff into suspension or into solution. So you start with your water dispersible granules, your wettable powders, then to your suspension concentrates, then to your liquid formulations, and then to your liquid formulation glyphosate style materials. At the end of the tank, that's when you'll put your surfactant loadings in, oils, wetting agents and so forth in that process. But I think what we need to do is really consider 75% as a safety margin against overdoing it on some of the additives that we are using.